Welcome to Show Em The Dore, the only podcast where we haven't talked about cheddars in like an entire season.
Oh, that's facts.
So, cheddars.
Like the restaurant?
Maybe one time.
Okay. But you know what it is.
Maybe one time, yeah. It's like a, to me, I think of it like a Chili's almost.
It's like a Chili's if you remove all of like the Waffle House entity of it. You know, like a
Chili's minus Waffle House.
Yeah, it equals cheddar.
So it's nicer?
Yeah.
I like to think it's the Olive Garden
Of like all types of food?
Like yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's
No,
cool.
I feel like Chili's.
I've been there one time, maybe.
It's like you walk into a Chili's and anything can happen. Like I don't think that I would be shocked by a single thing that ever happened in a Chili's.
Yes.
Fair.
Similar to Waffle House.
Mm-hmm. However, cheddar's their standard.
Yeah, it's like you walk in and like the waiters are like
respectable
dressed
dining
in
area.
like black,
Yeah, exactly.
and I'm like, wow.
I look at my food.
They
and
have
I'm
like an
this
aquarium
is
in
probably,
there?
like done well, you know. I'm in Chili's and I'm like,
You're like, it's good.
I mean, what's the Colin card?
So Chili's, what are you getting when you go to Chili's? I think there's only one right answer.
I get
Ooh,
the.
I think there's a couple
what's
right
it called?
answers.
The three.
The triple dipper.
Oh no! I think
That's
he
the right
meant the
answer.
three. He meant the 3 for $10.
Is that what it
Okay.
is? The three
I've
for
never had
triple?
that yet.
Well, so like, wait, so you just get like appetizers when you
The
go?
appetizers, yeah. You get 3 appetizers, and it's like a plate, and it's like
I mess with
get the
that.
Southwest egg rolls, the
Those are good,
chicken
actually.
nuggets or whatever, and like the sliders.
And like
It's
that's
fire.
the meal.
That's the meal.
That's
Very good.
actually dope. I like that a lot.
Yeah, every time.
On the back, they used to have the 2 for $20, which was a banger, but they don't have that anymore. They have the 3 for $10. It was the 2 for $20, then the 2 for $25, and then they got rid of it.
What were the two you got?
2 meals?
Yeah,
The
it
one
was. Well,
for
you
here, one to
you
go.
got drinks, 1 appetizer, 2 entrees, and 1 dessert for $20. It was
That's not bad.
It was banger.
That is good, yeah.
And then they had the 3 for $10, which was a drink, appetizer, and entree for $10.
That's great.
Which was it was
And then
solid.
they changed the 3 for $10 to like like a soup or salad or something before.
They changed it to something stupid,
Yeah,
and then they made
it's-
like a bunch of upcharges in it. And
Yeah,
it was
it's like $11.99 or something. So it's like if you get half of the stuff, it's $12.99, and then they charge you more for a drink that isn't like water
or lemonade,
or lemonade.
which
Or
is
like
the only
sweet
time
tea.
I'll ever get lemonade. Because they have the really bad Minute Maid lemonade that has about
good.
like 3 million grams of sugar in it, and it's so good. Chili's lemonade, top tier.
I've had that.
Cheminade.
Do you like fair lemonade, like the really fresh squeezed, like carnival type lemonade?
Yeah, I don't have it often, but that's good.
I can't stand it.
Really? You don't
Can't
like
handle
lemon
things
water
that
at all?
No, not even a bit. Wait, what
You
is it?
just can't handle things that are sour.
I like Sour Patch Kids and stuff, and like Warheads, if you guys remember.
Warheads are
those.
fire.
I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
Warheads.
but like
Those things got me.
like a lemonade that's like fresh squeezed, not good. But like if you put about a million sweeteners in it, it's a
You
banger
just want
drink.
The sweet, the
Yeah,
sweet little
I
drink.
probably can count on one hand how many times I've had fresh squeezed lemonade.
I can
probably
too
can
because it's
too.
bad.
It doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's not
Like,
good.
Just makes fresh squeezed lemonade.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of lemons.
You have to, like,
Takes a lot of lemons.
Children.
Yeah, it is.
but cheddars,
Okay, yeah.
near and dear to my
them-
heart,
Give them the
for a
lore.
multitude of reasons. Doesn't really matter, but we talked about it in an episode one time. I don't know why. If you haven't figured out by now, we don't talk about sports sometimes.
That's cool.
Where we just
For like
talk
a
about
while.
anything. We had an episode where we talked about insurance for like 20 minutes because I don't understand the system. But we talked about cheddars one day.
Stupid episode.
It was a good episode. I learned. But
Had to explain to him insurance for 26
it was
minutes.
confusing. He has to explain a lot of things to me.
I explained to him the magnetic field one time because he said he didn't believe in it.
Isn't
Of,
it
like, the Earth?
confusing? though?
Yes.
How does it happen? I don't know. I just know it happens, and it makes sense.
See,
It didn't make sense.
so
I
almost
said
like
no.
no. The thing is, you didn't say no. You walked into
I
the
said, "I
room
don't
and
believe
said,
it."
"I don't believe in the magnetic field," and
It made
how,
no sense.
How would
to
a
me.
compass work? But
That's the mystery, dude. I don't know.
dude, all compasses are lies.
No, like
They just go randomly.
there had to be some sort of alternate explanation. And then you said the way that things move, and I'm like, I took like 1 month of chemistry class. I do know this. I
Yeah,
failed. But
you withdrew.
I got the W. It's okay. But the
Yeah,
point
yeah.
is, we talked about cheddars, and I posted about it, and I said like, please sponsor us, and they DM'd me back
oh really?
and said,
We don't do
no.
Oh wow! Why would they even
sponsor
respond?
you.
Yeah, for real.
They're like, it was in like Christmas, so they were like, though it's the time of giving, we don't actually do sponsorships, and I was like, okay, but when you come crawling back, I'll be here.
Yeah.
And then, like,
when we blow up and you're
periodically,
you,
that's it.
don't
And
come
you're
to me.
still just a restaurant.
When our guests say, I might have been there, that's going to be embarrassing for you,
Yeah.
Mr.
Yeah.
Cheddar. But, like, periodically, we'll say stuff and interact with them more.
Yeah.
Like, I took my girlfriend, our first date was at Cheddar's, and I DM'd them, and I'm like, dude, I'm bringing a girl to Cheddar's. Wish me luck. And they're like, it's going to go great. And I'm like, Cheddar's, it was phenomenal. Thank you. So, like, Cheddar's and I have a good thing going.
Y'all know each other well.
We do.
Yeah.
We're buddies.
You guys are they're tight for real.
However, we haven't talked about them
No.
in so long.
Yeah.
Because that was last semester, at the very beginning.
Yep.
It's been a minute. Mm-hmm. Sad.
Was that all you were going with in that
That's,
one?
yes. That
Okay,
was the
for
story.
sure.
I wish I had more experiences like you.
Well,
You know, one of us is a starting football player for an SEC team, and one of us goes to Cheddar's on their first date. Who's really?
question.
I feel like they have to have good mac and cheese. Though.
They do, I think. Like, I don't like
do?
mac and cheese
Unrelated
out.
to the name of
but-
Cheddar's. It was
Okay.
because of Kendall Cheeseman.
It was. Do you know who Kendall Cheeseman is?
She used to play for us. Women's
Oh,
basketball. She
Yeah.
transferred.
Yeah.
She's at Belmont now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dating Devin Futrell.
She is?
Who's
Yes.
from baseball?
We talk
Yeah.
about this all
Yeah,
the time.
okay.
Okay, I'm so sorry I don't remember Kendall Cheeseman.
Every time
Has she been on this?
pitches, I'm
No.
like, that's Kendall.
But, like, we
she
were...
wasn't. But her name is Cheeseman, and we're kids apparently. So we're like,
her name
funny.
Cheeseman?
Cheeseman. Kendall Cheeseman.
Oh, I didn't even know her last name. Okay.
So what
I mean, that's-
happened
I've never heard
is
it, so I'm assuming.
we were doing an episode like 3 semesters ago on women's basketball and men's basketball because it was around that time of the year. And Willem's like, he's talking about all the players and like all the points that they had and like, you know, their general stats and all that kind of stuff. And it was like, oh, and Kendall Cheeseman got in the game. And I was like, thrown for a loop because I didn't know who that was.
Yeah.
And then we had just been having the discourse on Cheddar's for like 20 minutes before this episode, before like this part of the episode. And so I'm sitting here and I'm like, it was, when we did it that semester, it was like late in the day and we had like had classes all day, so I'm tired. And I'm like, Willem, do you think
No,
Kendall...
you start dying laughing, and I'm like trying to talk
trying to
about
hold it
women's
together.
basketball,
Yeah.
and he's over there like trying to like not do anything, and I'm like, is there a problem? He's like, do you think Kendall Cheeseman goes to Cheddar's?
I'm like, it was just
It was hilarious. I loved it.
Good timing.
But
Yeah.
that's what it was. It was
Yeah,
Kendall
there you
Cheeseman.
And so, yeah. Anyway, we're gonna move
Where would
on.
you take a girl on a first date? If not Cheddar's, what's
or
the move?
like a restaurant or like activity kind of guy?
I'd probably do like a movie or activity, or
I feel like movie isn't the move.
I'd probably go like a breakfast or something.
I'm gonna
There
go to
you
breakfast.
go. Yeah.
Like some less like low key. Like,
That
not like
takes
a
little
dinner.
pressure
Dinner.
off. You take her to dinner, it's dinner.
That's dinner. Yeah.
If you take her to like brunch, breakfast,
Yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Dinner's
it's
for like the third date, maybe.
I'm saying.
yeah.
I rushed it. We got there.
If you get there, you get there.
Yep.
Can I ask? Are you and your girlfriend still together?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. It worked.
Yeah, there it is.
So
had to
if-
make the eye contact with the camera.
if it
She'll
works,
watch
it
and be like,
works.
oh no.
Yeah, she keep breaking up with her right now.
Actually,
Not anymore.
Sorry, Brooke.
I'm kidding. I didn't mean But yeah, it was great. It was
good.
phenomenal.
Moving
I
on.
had the ham and, or no, what is it? You know what a Monte Cristo is?
no.
It's like ham and cheese and it's fried and like powdered sugar.
This man decided that was what he was going for on his first date.
It was a bad movie.
Powdered
because-
sugar on there?
Yeah, I don't know. I was like intrigued. I'm like,
It was
now
a-
what in the world is this?
That's crazy.
So I got it, and one, I'm allergic to dairy, so I shouldn't have eaten cheese.
Oh, so you were just
No.
Yeah, he swole up. I had to EpiPen him because
So
I was
here's the
also
thing.
at the restaurant.
I was there
Dairy-
stalking.
He was at the restaurant.
I was
You
there
actually
with,
were there?
allergy.
I was not there with them. I brought my girlfriend at the time
All right.
because he doesn't have a car, so I had to get him there. And so I was
no.
like,
okay, so you dropped him off, let him walk in.
And then they went in later.
Yeah.
And then ate, and then just waited in the car for us.
yeah.
But
Nice.
I'm allergic to dairy,
gotta get
which
your
like
boys, you
lactose
know?
intolerance is your stomach is messed up. My throat will close.
Oh, wow.
So I was eating the cheese like.
I have an EpiPen in my shirt pocket
Why did you do that?
because he's stupid.
Well,
I mean,
I,
that's
eat,
actually
I eat
crazy.
cheese, it's fine. But like, late in the date, I'm like, first of all, this sucked. Secondly, I feel like I'm gonna throw up.
Oh, no.
This is terrible. And I've told her this. I went into the bathroom and I like gagged for a moment, and then I'm like, I'm totally fine. It like cleared right up.
Did you tell her that this
right
was
back
happening?
out there? No. I was
that's
like,
probably
I'm gonna go to the
smart.
bathroom real quick. And then came right back, and I'm like, nothing happened. And I told her like a couple months later.
Nice.
I'm over there halfway across the restaurant, like people watching the
Yeah,
entire
of course.
time. Yeah, I'm trying to see
that's
how
what
he's doing. And I'm over there having a discourse with my girlfriend at the time. And I'm like, how do you think it's going? And I see Willem like go to the bathroom for like 7 minutes, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, man's fumbling. It was funny, but anyway.
No, man. Cheddar's is a good move.
Yeah, it was all right. Anyway, I'm one of your hosts, Christopher Conway. That's Willem.
Dude, I didn't even introduce you.
No, you didn't introduce anything.
I'm Ethan Barr.
All right, end of episode. See y'all next week.
It's amateur hour. Oh my goodness.
You're on me.
This is the magnificent Ethan Barr.
Oh, wow.
Did you get it?
No, I
No, it's
didn't.
right there.
Jeez, dude.
Dude, this is why we don't open windows.
It's hot in here.
I know.
Anyways, he tried to get a fly. This is Ethan Barr.
Big fly.
Absolute unit on the football team.
Starting inside linebacker.
You one of the
Inside,
only
right?
people to
Inside,
like.
yeah.
You responded really quickly when I asked you last Christmas what your favorite Christmas movie was.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
You
What did I say?
The
Like,
National Lampoon's
yeah.
Christmas Vacation or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
You responded faster than most people, and
good.
I really appreciate it. I'm like, this is
course.
dope. This is good.
Of athletes that have ever responded to Willem, there is the center fielder for South Carolina 2 years ago.
Yes,
What was his name?
Brady Allen.
Brady Allen.
Oh, my gosh. I remember that dude.
Really?
And then
I was in the outfield. We were heckling him from the outfield.
Dude, we were too.
Yeah. We were probably at the same
Yeah.
game. That's awesome.
But
So good.
That was COVID year, right?
Yeah.
I remember him, yeah.
And at the end, Willem texts him. He's like, "Yo, what's your walk-up song?" And I'm telling you, when this man responded within like 30 seconds,
This is insane.
It's a little weird.
I'm
30
like,
seconds
yeah.
is too
What's your
fast.
walk-up song?
it was immediately
It
seen.
was
Like,
really
bro was
weird.
waiting for a DM. He's
Yeah.
like, "Yeah, they're gonna text me." And then, I don't
And
think.
it's Lord Pretty Flacco Jody. So
I don't
I'm like, That's
know.
a pretty good song.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was solid. And he's in the league now. So
He is.
Oh, he is?
He's
Yeah.
engaged.
you followed
so-
his Instagram,
I
started
do.
liking all his stuff.
Friends
yeah.
now? Have you
Yeah.
talked to
I
him
keep
since?
up with him. I'm like,
The beef
hey,
got
congrats, man.
squashed.
And he's like, thanks so much, dude. And like, we're pals. He doesn't follow me back or anything, but like,
Oh, well, hey.
I like to think we're buddies.
Yeah, that's cool.
Neither does.
He
Vergara.
responded, so you are.
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically a follow.
Other people who haven't responded though, Jalen Mahoney.
Oh,
Yeah, Jalen's a...
You're the first defender we've had on the podcast, I think.
is that true? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So we haven't had anybody to like directly ask about.
I don't know if Jalen would do
Oh.
a podcast.
Dude,
He
Jalen left
read
us
it
on
within
scene.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
We're at the Wendy's, and I DM him. He was the first person we ever DM'd,
Because he
Really?
was our favorite player on the podcast.
and he followed us.
Yeah.
He still follows
Jalen's
us.
really cool.
And he sees it, and then never responds. So we went on and we're like,
I'll have
welcome
to
to
go
Show
talk
Em
to him
The Dore,
about
Jalen
that.
Mahoney's favorite podcast.
Yeah, for a while we were.
We left
were
him
like,
in awe.
we left him
He's
speechless.
still-
That's what we would say.
yeah.
That's what we
That's
would
all it was. That's all it was. He didn't.
Yeah.
He got nervous. He didn't.
No,
say
it was funny.
But what's the deal there? I'm wondering.
Oh, I have no idea.
You're like,
you know,
call
I
him up.
I could call him up.
No,
you want me to?
no. That's not
I literally just saw him before I came over here.
Really?
Yeah, he was doing some work out on the field.
Well, you got to be like, bro, it was great, bro. You got to come on.
I know, I'll have to.
Maybe, yeah,
Hey, you
give
know
us
that
those-
podcast I DM'd you a long time ago? Yeah.
And that you left on scene.
They
After.
they're a
didn't
little
introduce
pissed
me
about
for
that
like
one.
15 minutes.
No, the thing is like I was justifying it that like I was coping hard. I was like, yeah, he's going to leave us on scene. You know, you guys had just landed in Mississippi State.
Okay.
It was 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and it was the away game at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
And I was like, they just got off their plane because like you had seen like on Twitter, it was like, oh, we just landed in Starkville or something like that. And I was like, he'll get back to us. He's just locking in for the game, and then absolutely not.
Yeah. He probably forgot to.
Oh no,
Honestly.
it's
Impressive
dude, we were sliding.
That is impressive.
No, we were.
Like that was really, really accurate.
I think that game was actually the first game I ever started.
Really?
Really, and so
Speaking of which,
here we are.
Here we are at sports. You play football.
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
cool. Why?
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 When did you first play
Jesus
football?
Christ.
I'm gonna
So I started playing football when I was like 5.
Oh boy.
Getting a call. Hold on.
Very good.
Sorry, Earl. Shout out Earl Bennett.
Shout out Earl Bennett. Is he on the team?
No, he's our. He played at Vandy a long time ago. Played in the NFL. He's our like director of player
personnel
or whatever you call it.
He's like, you're not on that podcast.
Player development. He's player development. That's what
There
it is.
you go.
So, yeah.
Did you have to go through any like PR people to get here?
Here?
Yeah, like come on the podcast.
No, I mean I didn't tell anybody. No,
A lot of like the baseball people that we DM, they're like, we have to talk to our PR people. I'll get back to you, and then they don't get back to us.
We had Spencer, and the dude in charge got really mad.
Yeah, like we were in trouble with the GM.
Really?
But he did not. He doesn't like us. Actively.
Oh, I have no idea. I didn't talk to anybody.
We obviously aren't going to say anything inflammatory or like anything to like ruin the Ethan Barr brand.
Who's the worst person on the
No
more.
I would never answer that.
Yeah, no.
There you go.
Obviously,
I don't have that type of. I don't even think I have an answer for that. But anyways.
No, but like, yeah. Anyway, so when do you start playing football? You say you were about 5?
Yeah, I was about 5. My brother was playing football, and so my parents were like, "Hey, you want to try out for a team?" Started playing flag when I was 5. Played for 2 years, and then started playing tackle. And,
nice.
I played soccer, basketball, but football was just the one that kind of.
Was your brother the person you like kind of like looked up to in terms of like playing?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, for sure. So. Yeah, I mean, he's the reason that I definitely got into football. If he wasn't the one that was doing it, then I wouldn't necessarily had a specific reason to be like, oh yeah, sure. But and my parents were kind of introduced me to the idea too. So,
what position did he play?
He ended up playing at North Texas. He played offensive line.
UNT.
Yep, and but before that, he was like a defensive end and like tight end through his whole life. But yeah, I played like O-line, quarterback, running back, receiver, D-line, linebacker, safety. I played like everywhere besides corner. So.
There you go.
So other than linebacker, what's your favorite position you've played? I assume linebacker is your number one, being
yeah, probably. I really liked quarterback. Like that was what I was planning on being until like my sophomore year of high school. Like my coach was like, "All right, hey, we're gonna put you at linebacker," because I played defense too, but he was like, I think you're gonna get big and like you'll be able to like get recruited as a linebacker. So I was like, I trust you. So I did it.
And we'll get to your recruiting as we go throughout your life. But when did you start like realizing like football's like something I can continue to do in like the future?
So my whole life, like my goal was to play college football. Because growing up, I was a big Iowa fan. So me and my dad and like I'm from Iowa. Like I was born in Iowa. I grew up in Texas though, but we'd always watch Iowa, so like
Hawkeyes.
I was a big fan of like just football and college football, and I wanted to play college football. So ever since I can remember, like that's been my goal. And I guess when I realized I could actually do it was probably sophomore year. But
based on the shift from quarterback to
linebacker, yeah, and just like I had some really big plays my sophomore year. I was like, oh shoot, like.
Like this
This is something I can
I'm
do.
pretty good at this.
Like, I'm all right. So, yeah, I almost got
That
it.
is huge.
yeah, I don't know.
That's massive.
But I hope that's gonna show up in the pod. It's gonna be fun.
Anyways.
Piss me off. So when you went to high school, you went to Marcus High School.
Yeah, I went to Marcus High School.
Did you like when you walked in? Were you like automatically like one of the best people on the field, or like was there like a growth process that like you really felt like you got a lot better throughout your time?
Oh, I definitely improved. Definitely improved. But so my like fall camp freshman year, I would do like practice with my freshman team, and then I'd also come back and practice with the varsity. And I ended up getting hurt that like summer right before the season started. Like, and one of the practices I like twisted and I missed on my back, so I missed out on like the first 6 games. And I played like 2 games on freshman, and then my last game of regular season I got moved up varsity and like ended up like playing most of the game that last game. So that was pretty cool. And so I think like as a freshman, I think I was able to play it and play with the varsity guys, and I had my own and played well. So that was pretty cool. And I think from my freshman year was when I was kind of like, yeah, like this is pretty cool. I think I might be able to turn into something good, So. And
so you made that shift sophomore year. How'd that sophomore year season go for you in terms of linebacker play?
Yeah, that season was good. I had like a pick 6. I don't know how many tackles I had. Our team, we had like stacked with a lot of players, but we didn't end up winning a lot of games. But personally, I did fine. I ended up like hurting both my ankles though, so I was kind of like. I sprained both ankles, so
the same game, different games.
Different games, but so against our rival my freshman year, I had to sit out. I was just gonna sit out the whole game, but I was suited up. I set up the first half, and then I ended up going in the second half and playing the rest of the game just because I was like, put me in, coach. I need to go in. Like this is. But he was like, no, we really don't need you to play. Like you're pretty injured, and yeah, it honestly sucked to play. But I was like, I need to play. So the season was good. Like
yeah,
we didn't make playoffs or anything, but it was a good year. So.
And so like, did you have like a less kind of injury battered year than your junior year and senior year of high school, or?
No, luckily, I want to say I stayed healthy the rest of my career.
There you go.
Yeah, it was pretty big. So.
And so like, speak on like the last couple of years of your high school before you started getting recruited, I would say.
Okay, yeah. So my junior year, like, the junior season went, and then junior spring, and I was like, or heading up to junior spring, I was like, dude, I don't have any offers. Like, I need to get like going with this or whatever. And so I was literally like, I don't even know if I'm going to play college. Like, I had like questioned myself, like if I was even going to play college.
Yeah.
Or at least D1. And throughout high school, I also played basketball. So I was on the basketball team too throughout my whole high school career. But so I get back to basketball or football after the basketball season, and we get to spring ball, and I end up getting my first offer like late in spring ball from Tulsa. And then
you committed to Tulsa, didn't you?
I did not commit to Tulsa. I committed to Tulane. Yeah, Tulane.
Come on, man.
Yeah, but then
Wrong
so
school.
I think Louisiana Monroe ended up offering me in spring ball too. So I had like those two offers, and then went to like one mega camp. It was actually at SFA, Stephen F. Austin.
Yeah.
And there was Air Force and Tulane there. And so they ended up both offering me. And I took some visits, and I didn't end up visiting Air Force, but I didn't know if I really wanted to go that route.
If you were to go to Air Force, do you also have to like enlist in the military?
You do, yeah. So you have to. I forget exactly what it is, but like after your sophomore year, you'll sign your whatever, and then you have to commit for service.
Wild.
Yeah, so
like
I think it's like 5 years active and 8 years reserve or something like that. So.
They're like calling you off the field, and they're like, all right, we're deploying you to, someplace, and you're like, that's a wild, like,
It's a different commitment. You have to be committed to, school, football, and your country. So.
Uncle Sam, like.
Yeah, so that was something that I wasn't really.
That's not what you're looking for.
That's not what I was looking at.
All respect to people that do.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, that's not where I was definitely looking at before, and the opportunity came available, and I was just like, I definitely like talked to the coaches a lot and stuff, and they offered me actually right after I committed to Tulane, so like they're kind of like, we still want you and stuff and all that.
They had a good year this last year.
They did, yeah. It was really cool watching them play. A lot of those guys, like Michael Pratt, their quarterback, was in my class, and I ended up flipping here, but he was the guy that was like texting me, like, hey, like come to Tulane and stuff, and. There was a couple guys on that team that I know, so that was pretty cool. So,
what was it like to get that like relief of like, I don't know if this is like a viable thing I can do at a D1 level to then now I've got offers. What was it like?
Dude, it was pretty cool. So I was actually in the car like on the way to like a playoff baseball game with like 5 of my buddies that were on the football team too, and I get a call and I was like, guys, like be quiet, like the coach was calling me, so I picked up my phone and like I had an idea like it was gonna be an offer because like. He had never called me before, and he was just at practice earlier that day, so I was like, oh, sweet. The conversation was like 20 minutes, the whole car ride, so everyone's just like waiting for me to get off the phone and like tell them what happened. And so I put down the phone, and I was like, I got offered, and they're like, oh. So it was cool. It was a really cool moment, and like the guys that I was in the car with, one of the guys was the quarterback at LSU, Garrett Nussmeier.
Oh, really?
My friend Tyson Edwards, he plays running back at Columbia. One of my other buddies who doesn't play football anymore, but and I think someone else. But yeah, everyone.
Shout out all the homies.
Shout out all the homies. Yeah, like everyone kind of played football at least in some aspect at the next level, so that was pretty cool.
There you go.
But yeah, it was cool to be around them when that happened. So
yeah, and so I believe you got offered, if I remember right from my research, you got offered by Tulane in like July-ish.
Yeah, that probably is right, yeah.
And then it said Vandy offered you in December of that year. Mm-hmm. And so, like, when did you start getting contacted by Vandy and, like, just, hearing from them and their interest in that sense?
So I committed to Tulane in, like, the summer, and I was set on Tulane. I had my OV, like, probably December 7th, I want to say, or December 9th or something. And then that next week, like the next week after my OV at Tulane, on Thursday, Coach Mason comes to like the office, talks to my head coach, because they had offered like Garrett Nussmeier and our other receiver, who's now at UCLA. And so my coach was like, hey, like we want, Ethan, we want you to come down, like one of the coaches here, like he really wants to talk to you. And he was like, hey, like to Coach Mason, like, do you need another like linebacker? You have a linebacker for this class? And he was like, Coach Mason was like, no, we don't. We need one actually. So he showed my film and he really liked me. So I go down to the office and he was like, hey, like we have an official visit this weekend. If you want to come up. And I was in basketball season actually, so I didn't even go to my basketball game on Friday night. I was like, Coach, I need to go to this visit. And so I did that, and he ended up offering me on like Sunday officially, and then I committed on like Monday, and it signed on Wednesday. So
yeah,
it was like really quick.
Yeah. Y'all move quick. What? Why?
So Tulane's really cool, like middle of New Orleans, very cool. They had a very good like building program. I like the coaches a lot, but I like Nashville a lot. Like when I came here, I was like, this place is sweet. And then I think the SEC.
Yeah.
I was playing the SEC, playing with the guys that I'd met and stuff was definitely an influential factor. And one of the guys, like two of the guys that were my host on my OV was OV here was Gavin Shonwall and Ben Bresnahan.
Hey.
And so
you got the
like they definitely helped kind of sway me in a way. Like they didn't like do anything special or anything, but they were really cool. And like those are my two like really good buddies today, so that's pretty cool. So,
that's great.
Yeah.
And so since you've been at Vandy, I guess we should stick on high school, finish that out real quick. What would you say your favorite moment from high school is?
Oh shoot.
In terms of like playing. I mean, you can talk about like, school if you want, but I don't imagine.
I took a really good algebra test once.
Dude, aced my Chem 1 exam. It was crazy.
Yeah, I don't really remember what's a school from school. Let me think. So that year we beat both of our rivals, and like those two moments were the best because we hadn't done that in like a couple years.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good to have like both the trophies. Like one of our trophies was like an axe for one of the rivals, and the other one's like a big, huge like gold like Stanley Cup essentially. So
that's dope.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And we beat them both like kind of, or Flower Mound, who's like our rival because Marcus is in Flower Mound. We beat them last second. Like they had an offensive drive going, and they tried to kick a field goal, but they didn't get it off in time, so we won like at the buzzer really. And then I don't even remember how Lewis fell in it, but we won. And I ended up having a couple sacks and a couple good tackles, so it was pretty cool.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yeah. It's hype.
That's dope.
Yeah. Is there a moment that you felt like I don't want to say like your least favorite moment, but one that you were like, okay, I gotta remember this moment and like grow from it, and kind of propel you forward in that sense?
Yeah. So I think middle of my junior season, we had some guys on my team that were just like, they just weren't with like the culture of the team and stuff, and so I went to my coaches and I was like, this is what we need to change something. Like these guys aren't like with it, whatever, and I hated that moment. Like it kind of sucked to have to like be the one to kind of stand up and like tell your coaches like, come on, like we need to do something different and whatever, and like we need to like, once these guys are gone, like it's gonna be different. Like this off season has to be way different and stuff like that. And we went from like 6-4 to 10-2 the next season. So or 11-2 or whatever it was, 10-2.
You guys went to the playoffs.
So yeah, we lost our first game of my senior season and didn't lose again. We won 10 straight and lost in the playoffs. Well, obviously the last game. So that like junior year was pivotal for all of our friends. Like all of my friends were like the leaders of the team, so it was pretty sweet that we were able to like change the whole thing.
Really felt like you guys could like put on your shoulders and like really propel that team.
Exactly. So,
lay the foundation.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So.
That's a good way to flex. Within the least favorite moment is when I changed the program
entirely. It was like
led us to win so many more games.
I had never been so pissed in my life, probably. Like it just pissed me off. But like that moment and like that time, my junior year, like made me so mad that like it really like
it
flipped.
But
so
yeah,
it was like,
cool.
I gotta take the ACT, and these people aren't doing what they need to.
Yeah, no, I didn't mean to.
Like, go on.
Gosh, that's funny.
Who am I gonna take to prom?
So once you got to Vandy, how was like your first like camp here and like learning like a college scheme and that kind of stuff, and talk about like the learning curve as you went to like college?
Yeah, there's just like a lot more different. Like you play every defense, and there's a lot of like calls within the defense. So like back then, I was kind of just remembering like what do I have to do on this call or this call or this call.
Yeah.
And like now, like it all just comes so natural. Like I can worry about how I react to what the offense is doing. So I think like back then it's just getting down like what's your assignment every play, because you play every single coverage with the different types of blitzes and all that kind of stuff. And then during COVID it was just really tough too, because we couldn't meet as much. We didn't have as much like practice time or like time to hang out in the facility. Like none of that was a thing. So that was really difficult. And I also got COVID my during fall camp.
Oh jeez.
Yeah,
so you were probably out for like ever, because everybody was like freaking out at that.
Yeah, I was out for like 15 days.
Yeah,
and then had to like
have a fall camp. That's
a week.
so
like
much.
a week to come back. And so I only had like 2 weeks of fall camp or whatever. And then my coach had called me when I was in quarantine. He's like, hey, like we're gonna probably need you to play this year. I'm like stuff. So I was like, all right, sweet. And I ended up getting ready and like knew what I was supposed to be doing, and so it worked out. So I ended up playing. Yeah, my first like snap of college, I think I was on like kickoff return against like A&M my freshman year, and then
because it was an all SEC schedule.
Yeah, but then I ended up going to like the third drive against A&M, so that was pretty cool.
Did you have like a welcome to the SEC type moment?
Gosh, I don't know. My freshman year, I definitely just got like dumped like a couple times. Like you don't know, like I didn't know how to handle linemen, like
pulling,
like pulling or just being able to climb up to me. So like they would get into my chest, or whatever, and there's like nothing you can do when you have 300 pounds just kind of controlling you.
Yeah.
So you gotta use your hands to kind of keep them away or whatever. And I did not really do that well. So I remember like multiple times in the goal, like in the end zone, like a lineman would climb up to me and I'd just boom get dumped in the end zone. Very humbling, you know. You gotta
like,
realize what you need to work on in that moment.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah. So. But there's no specific moment, I would say. Kind of just those like accumulation of moments were just like, oh gosh.
You remember like a Herschel Walker, like but so obviously, when you had COVID during that like first camp, especially when you're trying to like learn like an entirely new defense and that kind of stuff, do you have like we like to talk about like like potential like mental type stuff that happens like within athletes, because we feel like a lot of people kind of view athletes as like assets as opposed to people.
Yeah.
So like, do you want to speak on like the mental kind of like trials and tribulations a little bit, and like how you kind of came out of that based on things like that, or do you even have a different time where you feel like mentally you had to work through some stuff and through like playing and being a student athlete?
Yeah. So I guess through the COVID time, during like my freshman year during COVID year, I didn't really have any expectations for myself at the time. Like I knew I wanted to play and like make an impact early, but in terms of like really putting pressure on myself, it wasn't like I wasn't really doing that. So I didn't really have any pressure on myself then. But like during my sophomore year, I don't know what it was, but there was a time my sophomore year where my whole body was kind of banged up. The season wasn't really going well, and I think like the accumulation of those two things and like having to go to practice every day, and put your body back into it and like get ready for it, and like that can be taxing, especially if you don't see the results. So there was a time where like it's definitely very tough and hard mentally if you aren't having the results, and you also feel the accumulation of all the work that you put in. So my sophomore year was definitely a time that I was okay, and I talked to people about it and stuff. But yeah, it was definitely a tougher time.
I remember we asked people about this, and they're always like, "Yeah, I went and talked to blank, who is your sports psychologist." I don't remember her name.
I know. I have her number.
You have her number?
Yep.
Why?
What's her name? Hold on.
I know her name.
Wait.
Hold on. Let me. I'll remember it.
Like sports performance girl? Lady?
Yeah.
Woman?
Shoot, what is it?
It's like Stephanie or something, but it's not.
No. It's not.
So, you want me to give it to you?
Well, it starts with a K, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Kathy.
No.
Kiera.
It's a name that I wouldn't guess like off the bat. You know what I mean?
Catherine.
No. Oh shoot.
I don't have her number.
You're like kind of close.
We can't do this too long here. Come on, boys.
What's her last name start with?
Curry. Okay.
Oh, Kayleen Curry.
Yeah.
That's
Kayleen's awesome.
Kayleen Curry.
She's awesome.
And they're always like, yeah, she's absolutely wonderful when it comes to
She is
stuff
wonderful.
like
Yeah,
that.
she definitely like.
Shout out Kayleen
Yeah,
Curry.
shout out Kayleen. You're amazing.
Definitely watch this pod.
Yeah. No, she's great to go to. She's a great resource for anyone who needs her. Like I've gone to her multiple times, and just you kind of talk through kind of some things you're thinking or any kind of struggles that you have, mental blocks. I want to say during that sophomore season, like I had like my knees were messed up, kind of my shoulder had like sublex, like whatever, it was killing me. I had an MCL like sprain and stuff. Like so, there's like a number of things that I was just like, I don't know if I can.
Everything
do this.
hurts.
You're walking around like holy moly.
She was like, don't let it. Like I was able to do it. I ended up doing it. But she was like, you gotta kind of like push past that and like build your confidence through the practice that you have this week, and like you'll be okay and stuff. So she definitely helped me through a lot of those struggles that I was going through mentally. So
there you go.
Yeah.
And so sophomore year obviously might have been a little bit more difficult. And then do you see that like, you know, reach like a better level by like junior year and like throughout? I guess that's last season.
Yeah, last season, I definitely played better. Like I knew my job better. I knew how to like see what the offenses were doing quicker and be able to react faster and things like that. I think my technical skills had definitely advanced. So yeah, there's definitely improvement that I've seen over the past, like specifically my sophomore to junior season. So it's been really cool and very, motivating to see like improvement and see like where you have still potential to grow. So
have you had 3 different defensive coordinators? 2?
I've had 3 different ones. My first year was Coach Roof with the old staff, and then Mentor, and then Howell. So
yeah, how has that in terms of like, have you had to learn like an entirely new scheme as they've come in, or has it been a little bit more of like a easier transition based on
the
similarities from
Roof to Mentor? It was way different because a whole different coaching staff will bring different stuff, but from Mentor to Howell, like we kept everything very similar. Every team always, has some critiques to like what they're running and stuff, but and different calls. But the base stuff is the base stuff.
Of course.
Like what Coach Lee was kind of like, yeah, we're running the same stuff. It's better to have guys who've been in the same system longer than having to change it all up again. So, yeah.
Definitely. And so I guess like kind of thinking ahead to this season, like what are you like? We've seen some of the guys. They haven't been drafted yet, I don't think. But we have some guys that are going to the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
How is it like stepping up into like that role where like not to say that like you're like definitely solidified as like a stalwart of the defense at this point. Like how is that like leading that group of like linebackers and the entire front 7 as well? Yeah,
it's cool. As a younger guy, you try to look at the older guys and see how how they do it and how they lead their position and then the group. And then I think as those guys have kind of, made their way out of the program and, gone to different things.
Yeah.
I've found like my way too. So it's been cool. For me, it's kind of just like building relationships with the guys on the team, in my position group, there's healthy competition I think that we have, which is great. And that's something that's really increased, over the past couple of years. So that's been awesome. And then, looking at guys like Gavin and Ben, those were like 2 of the big leaders on offense, and they having them gone now, you have to find new guys that can step up into that. So in terms of like team leadership, I found a role to kind of take on some of that, and other guys have too. But it's been cool to see not only myself but the other guys that have been able to step up and lead, like Brad Ashmore, Ken Seals, Justin Ball, like those guys have also stepped up a lot too on the offensive side, so it's been cool.
I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and he was just talking about how awesome it was to talk to Ken Seals.
Yeah,
like I've heard he's just like a really like nice guy who will just chat with you about like almost anything.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
So like I know that he still has like 3 years of eligibility in terms of like that, and he's great, and he'll he's gonna do well, I'm sure, when he's called on. Because is there still like a competition going on in terms of quarterback, or is it AJ Swan?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's always competition.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But I think like no matter what happens, those two are definitely both able to play and compete.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I honestly have no idea what all that looks like.
Yeah, that's not your deal.
Yeah, it's not my deal. I don't know what that looks like, but like they both have really played well this spring. Ken's my roommate. He's like my best friend too. So
really.
Yeah, I know everything about him.
It gives me like Tua and Jalen Hurts vibes from like when we were in high school, where it's like both of them could very easily play and do very, very well.
For sure.
It's just situationally, what's going to happen where. And so, I think that's exciting to have multiple options.
I have very big confidence in both of them and their abilities, so I'm excited to see what they can put on film against opponent. Mm-hmm. So.
And so, kind of like your high school, what is your favorite moment from college so far?
So Kentucky was our first win in SEC play since I've been here. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty legit.
It was a great game.
This is kind of like weird, but before the game, it was snowing outside.
Yeah.
And like the whole team went out in the field. Like no one was wearing like long sleeves. Everyone was in cutoffs and stuff. And it starts like over the loudspeaker. It starts playing like, "Do you want to build a snowman?" Or like "Let it snow" from like whatever it's called, whatever the movie's called, Frozen. Yeah. And everyone started singing that song, and it turned up the whole team. And it was awesome because Kentucky was on the other side, and they were all like bundled up and stuff, and we're just out there just like, just out there, and it was awesome. It was so sick. And then we like started warming up, and it was the energy of that like whole game was just great, and that was probably the best memory that I've had. So,
speaking of Kentucky, real quick, first of all, that was a great game, but that's not what I was going to talk about. Ray Davis transferred to Kentucky. Are you excited to tackle?
Yeah, I'm excited to play against Ray. Like, I mean, he's a great player, so I think it'd be cool too.
Ray Davis is one of the fan favorites on Show Em The Dore that we've talked about often. But at the same time, like, is there a little bit like, I know what you're gonna do, I know what you're gonna try, and like some familiarity that
I think when we play him, like, it'll be cool. I know he's good at it. I know he's a tough runner. He's agile in small spaces and stuff like that. So it'll be cool to play him, and I mean, just to see him again. But
yeah, of course.
Ray's a good dude. I'm really hoping for the best for him, and that he can after this year go on to the league and make an impact there. So.
Kentucky's produced some solid running backs in the NFL these past couple of years.
And he's got talent. He just needs to stay healthy.
Yeah, he does. That's something he struggled with here a little bit. So.
But yeah, I think with a good healthy season, he could be. He could.
Running
backs aren't like first round picks anymore, but he could be a very good like mid round pick, good running back that will make it in the league.
He's a quality running back.
Not the point. This isn't the Ray Davis episode.
The episode.
He left. I don't think he left us on scene. But
did y'all reach out to him?
Yeah, we
did. He didn't even see it.
Wow,
I
Ray.
didn't see him.
This is for you. Wow, Ray.
Like, yeah, wow. But I guess we can start getting into like some of like we try to do. You ever seen those old like Minnesota Vikings videos where they like ask him like funny questions, like superlatives about the team and like who's like the best dancer and that kind of stuff?
I have not seen those, but I've been a part of some of those. So
okay,
I'm ready.
Before we get into that, I was looking at some of your interviews, and they were. I hate media people after football games. They're my least favorite things in the whole world. Yeah, you don't have to speak on that, of course.
Make a statement, but
I feel sometimes they ask questions that are like, what could you guys have done better in this quarter or something like that. It was a specific one that I was watching. It was after Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah.
And they were like, yeah, what happened in the third quarter? And it's like, do you ever have some frustration where you're like, I could explain to you, everything that could have went wrong, but that's not what you're looking for some weird buzzword here or something like that. Like, do you have is that something that you want to speak on or anything like that? Or
I mean, everyone watches the game. They know exactly what happened. It doesn't take what I have to say, and also I hadn't seen exactly what happened myself. I was on the field or I was, watching my position if I wasn't on the field. So you don't really know what happened from my perspective until, you watch the film. You can say, oh, it happened. Like, this guy did this, but that wouldn't be fair to the defense or the team.
And I'm sure oftentimes it's not like a person by person, miscue.
It's a lot of times if there's a mishap, it's a communication error within something that's changed pre-snap, or maybe someone didn't execute to the.
Is there ever a time where you're just like, you like really just want to like, you want to almost like over-explain just to like kind of like prove a point to them a little bit, or?
Yeah, I don't. If I over-explained, I don't know if they would totally understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Dude, this is a personal passion.
Like, it can be.
Members.
Yeah, I mean,
coming from a person.
It's cool to be. Yeah, it's cool to be a part of media. I mean, you're there to represent the team and stuff. It's cool. It definitely can be tough though to like, respond to them in a way that's respectful of everybody involved. So.
Yeah. Do you feel like media should have to be a little bit more like, not professional isn't the word, but like have like a greater understanding before asking questions, or do you think that do you think that, like, I don't know, I have a belief that this is just only mine, is that media is doing a bad job by misrepresenting and oversimplifying games like football. In the sense of like, hey, what did you do wrong? What did the defense do wrong? Like, that's so general. There's no way that you're actually gaining a decent understanding of the game from that question.
I think they're probably wanting an answer that can be put out for general public to understand in terms of what happened.
Do you think that the purpose of the media should be shifted to actually asking like, better targeted questions that might give a better response? Or is it just, that's not really your deal either?
I never thought about that, but I guess, potentially. I mean, that wouldn't be.
When you're somebody who isn't an athlete, you have to deal with these media members giving you the information you want to see. I'm like, that's annoying.
Yeah.
I can't be on the field, so I gotta listen to stupid people. Anyway,
you can say whatever you want.
Yeah, I can say whatever I want.
With the team or anything. He just says stuff. Dude, and people are like,
I would be such a great media member. Just by the way,
I imagine you would ask good questions.
I would. I wouldn't say. Never mind. I was about to quote somebody. But anyway, we're gonna get actually into the superlative. So, who do you think is the best dancer on the team? And we're gonna, for the sake of this, are we gonna say last season's team or this season's team, including the freshmen? And 'cause we're in a weird spot where it's kind of like in the middle.
We might let's add a little bit of let's add some last season, because I have some last season.
All right, yeah, we'll say last season.
So the best dancer.
Freshman can dance.
I don't think I've seen any freshmen dance yet, but the best dancer that I've seen is probably Max Worship. He's pretty good, and Michael Owusu, they're pretty good. They also go to they do a dance thing for fun, so like they have some practice, but they're pretty fire at dancing.
Do you mean like
they go to like a dance studio and like they'll like learn to dance to a song, and like you get like a video of it and like they'll post it. So if you look at his Instagram probably has a dance.
We're gonna have to look at Maxwell Worship.
I didn't realize when we asked this question there are people who like legitimately go after this.
Yeah, people do it for fun. They just like in the summer, like they probably only do it in the summer, but they do it like for fun. They go to, I forget what it's called, but
I've heard dance is really good for like balance in football.
Oh, probably. I mean, I can't dance, so I don't know how my balance is. It probably improves some type of skill, but
like plyometric. Anyway, but okay, best dressed.
All right, that would go to Anthony Orgy.
Fern, my man.
Yeah, you know Fern?
No.
You don't?
I just love
It's funny you call him that, because I call him that too, and he was like, I think you're the first one to ever call me Fern.
Really?
I think everyone on the podcast has called him Fern.
Oh, really?
No, we say it.
Do we?
I say it about everyone named Anthony.
You know multiple people named Anthony.
Well, there's the dude in the NBA.
That's my question. Simons?
Anthony Simons.
Oh.
So I call him Fern.
Not Simons. Only one M. Simons.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
And then Orgy, I just call him Fern.
Yeah.
It's a good plant.
It is. It's nice.
I love ferns. You have something to say about that, Chris?
No.
What's your favorite kind of plant?
Dude, all I know is like tulips and roses and daisies and.
Solid. Amanda starts listening. He's like 20.
That's all I know.
20 deep.
That's all I know.
He's like,
yeah.
The podcast goes for like another 40 minutes.
Yeah, me just
naming.
We're here with a botanist, Ethan Barr.
Wait, you pulled up the botanist.
That's his major, actually.
What is your major? Your HOD?
There you go. Yeah. I was gonna say you don't take 2,500 unless
you took 2,500 and you're not an HOD.
I'm Peabody. It's the same thing.
What are you like?
Cog studies.
What is that?
It's like psychology.
But like about kids.
Well, no,
cool.
What?
All mine have been about kids.
Well, that's because you're in the kid class.
Are you
what does that
same
say
as
about
him?
you?
No, I'm an HOD major. I have a Cog Studies minor though, and all of my classes have been about children.
Maybe because you have a Cog Study minor. Minor about kids.
I get it. I got it.
Yeah.
It wasn't good. This is
okay. So y'all take some of the same classes.
Yeah, we're in a couple of the same ones. When we're getting kicked out of the podcast, Ethan, how do you get co-host a podcast?
I say bad things, but that's got to be like the worst joke.
That one's got to be tough. Yeah. Whew. Okay, more superlatives. Best place place you like playing the most outside of I guess First Bank Stadium nowadays. What was it called before First Bank?
Just
Vanderbilt
Stadium.
There was nothing.
Very creative.
I played at.
It was a sponsor.
Gosh, I think I played everywhere almost besides Auburn and.
Auburn's
Alabama was
Clemson.
insane.
Ryan Denny?
It was insane. Like it was the craziest.
How do you feel about Neyland?
I hate that place.
I'm from Knoxville.
I heard you're a Tennessee fan.
From who?
So before I came on here, I asked.
Who's talking about?
I asked Wes. I was like, "So how'd the podcast go?" And he said, he said he's a Tennessee fan. What?
Did you like it?
Yeah, he liked it. Yeah, he said it was really cool. He's like, yeah, they ask you kind of like cool questions. Like it's a good time. Yeah.
Awesome. So he's speaking of...
It was great things besides you're a Tennessee fan.
Okay, that's fair. I'm from Knoxville. I went to my first game in Neyland when I was 3. So you got to cut me a little bit of slack.
Why that? How'd you end up coming here? Just because?
I didn't want to go to UT.
You didn't want to stay at home?
No, definitely not. Like the thing is I have a belief about people that stay in their hometowns and go to college and that they never grow out of like their high school selves.
Yes.
And I wanted to grow out of my high school self, and I felt like Vandy was a place that was.
Do a lot of people, a lot of your friends go there?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're good people, but you can tell that it's still like. You get it. And also Vandy's just a much better school.
That is true.
And it still has all the great sports that I love to watch, and I'm going to the UT Vandy baseball games this weekend.
Oh, cool. Is it up there, right?
Yeah, it's at UT. I'm wearing full Vandy stuff the entire time, though, because UT baseball sucks. I hate it.
They were good last year, I will have to say. They were hitting bombs against us.
Let me rephrase. They are good. I hate them.
Okay.
Just
the personality they kind of have.
Yeah. Like, I'm okay with, like, the trash talk in sports. Like, I'm not, like, the old head that's like, keep that out of the game. But, like...
They act like they're the villain of college baseball.
And you can't
They're just like the villain of sports.
Yeah.
UT.
Sometimes,
Is that true, or...?
I don't think so. I think baseball was. Like, because I don't think you hit a home run to walk off and you flip off the outfield. Like, I think that's kind of stupid. You know, I don't think you tell a ref that was... I don't think you use obscenity at a ref whenever they make a call and then wonder why you get thrown out of a game. Like when they lost against Notre Dame, that's what happened. Like their center fielder, he yelled at a ref off of a strike/ball call. And he said that it's
from the outfield?
No. He was bad.
Oh, okay.
I was bad.
I was confused. I'm like...
I'm
Bro
sorry.
was that furious?
But he like struck out on a ball that probably was a ball, just to be clear. He turned around, he told the F it was effing terrible, quote him. And like you can't say that to an ump in baseball. And so he gets thrown out, and then he's like, well, what did I do? And it was just like it was like if you're gonna be the villains, which I don't think you have a right to be because it's your first time ever being good. You can't whine about them being the villains, you know?
Right.
I don't think UT, maybe it's just because I have some rose-tinted glasses. I don't think UT football has that about them. Like, there might be, like, a little bit of trash talk and cockiness, but it's not like can never get shown up. And I also think the basketball program is probably the most respectful of the three. because Rick Barnes is like old and probably keeps him close to the vest like that.
He's just gone.
Yeah, it's the same way that I don't think that like Coach Corbin would ever let our baseball team be super disrespectful.
Yeah.
Because it's like that old man kind of like mentality of like have respect for the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's my spiel about UT. I love them to death, but I can't stand their baseball. So I'm gonna be full Vandy jerseys this weekend. I'm gonna get jumped.
Are you taking this one?
Wait, what?
You taking that one with you?
Thinking about it, yeah, probably. I'm gonna wear that one. I'm gonna wear the other one that I have, and then
All three. Well,
I don't have a third one.
Oh.
So I'll just wear a different shirt that day.
Yeah.
But anywho, not the point. So you don't like Neyland though?
It's cool. Their away locker room was pretty terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
You know that the reason the away sideline is positioned so that it will always be in the sun.
That makes sense because that sun was there when we played them.
Terrible.
They always have it. They have it so that the home sideline gets
shaded. Because the sun will peek through that little. So they have that little thing on top. It'll hit and then it'll hit again. It will
only go to the away sideline.
Yeah.
It will never touch the home sideline.
Okay.
Because they're petty.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's
a weird design.
What a Class A franchise.
Hey,
great organization. Good program.
So Bryant Denny was your favorite in terms of.
Yeah, it was just like nuts. I mean, I don't know, like it was crazy.
I mean,
like,
you play
they turn like during the timeouts, they turn it like red in there, and then they have
Really?
like a circus going on while they're in a timeout. It's like,
You're like, I'm trying to. What are they?
and it's loud.
What's going on?
And they got the Dixieland Delight playing. I just like that song,
geez.
you know. So that's always cool to hear that song.
It's a banger of a song.
On the
about Tennessee,
opposite,
though.
what was your least favorite place to play? Don't say Neyland, come on, bro. I mean, it might be.
No,
I would assume Missouri's under that, though.
I like Missouri. Missouri's nice.
I hate
It's
Missouri.
very nice. Kentucky's nice. I don't even know.
Colorado State.
Colorado State, we were actually getting stuff thrown at us while we were like playing them. They were throwing like pretzels at us, like they were tying up their towels on a knot, and like the students, they were throwing stuff because they were right behind us. That was pretty
Maybe they were
terrible.
trying to give you a snack.
Yeah.
They're like, thanks, bro.
It's after the game, Alan George, he picks up the pretzel, starts eating it. I'm like, oh gosh.
Oh
no.
my
Wait,
gosh.
who did?
Alan George. Remember who that is? He played corner. He got drafted to the Bengals.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I actually
That's
knew
a
that.
power move, but also
Yeah.
that's disgusting.
It's like it's the one clip. It was from the UT Alabama game last year where the offensive lineman throws up and looks at him and starts like nodding.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that was actually crazy.
If you're a defensive player, somebody does that to you, like what's going through your mind at that point?
I mean, that's just badass.
That's maniac behavior.
That's
like,
pretty cool.
You're sitting there, you're like, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, respect.
That's what I saw that live. I was crying. It was so funny.
Yeah, I saw that on like Instagram the next day. I was like, wow.
Who talks the most trash on the team?
Our team,
Yeah. Really gets in the opponent's head.
I don't know.
You guys are
I'm right next to Anthony, or I was right next to Anthony, so I would hear him.
Would he talk a lot of trash?
Yeah, he would just say random stuff. Like, it'd be kind of like funny, but like he was like the only one talking.
Yeah,
most of the
can
time.
we get an example?
No, I can't.
Okay.
It's probably better I don't.
It's an off-air kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Question about Anthony specifically.
Okay.
We've heard from multiple accounts that whenever he's at a function, he'll do this thing where he does a
Yes.
backflip.
I already am gonna say yes. Yeah.
Land on his butt.
Yeah. He'll swipe the ground like he's gonna like just totally land it, and he just doesn't land it, and it's like his party trick.
Why?
I don't know, but I think every time yeah.
You get hype about it though?
That was lit. Yeah.
Okay.
I get hyped about it. I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. It's pretty cool.
Was there ever a time you're like,
so
well,
dope.
The first time I saw it, I was just like, whoa. And then like, you know, I kind of got to know him more. This is before I probably knew him as well as I do now. But then it's kind of like, yeah, you got to get lit. And everyone's still like, what just happened? Like everyone thinks it's serious. It's like a joke. So
That's funny.
It's pretty funny.
Have you
yeah.
ever seen him land a backflip though?
No, I haven't.
So can he?
Probably not right now. I don't think. If he had a little practice, he probably could.
when you say right now, do you mean like Just because he hasn't practiced? Or
I don't think he's ever actually had like real practice.
I didn't know if maybe he like had a hurt hamstring now or something.
No, he's he's large, yeah. He's very big.
It takes a lot to do a backflip.
Sure,
the size of Anthony Orchard.
I've also seen Tristan Wirfs jump out of a 4-foot pool. So like,
Oh, shit. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
It's wildly
That's
impressive.
scary because like if you don't land it, you're getting cut by that ledge. So.
Exactly. Do you know who Tristan Wirfs is, Willem? He's the offensive tackle for the Bucks. Man's huge.
He's large, yeah. He's like Tyler Steen, if you know who Tyler Steen is. No? You don't know who Tyler Steen is?
I know. He doesn't.
Okay. He's like bigger than Tyler Steen. And like Tyler Steen's like one of the bigger O-linemen I've seen.
He's just a very big offensive lineman.
I got that.
He went to Iowa.
He went to Iowa.
He went to Iowa.
There you go.
That's why. Yeah. I watched Iowa play 2 games over the course of my life, and it was because they played Tennessee in bowl games back-to-back years, if you remember that. It was the Outback Bowl and the Tax Slayer Bowl.
Iowa's like always in the Outback. They played like Florida one year in the Outback Bowl. They're always in that bowl.
Dude, the Outback Bowl, that was when Josh Dobbs at the University of Tennessee.
Yeah.
Let's clarify.
I remember that game.
Like Steakhouse?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why do they have a bowl?
If the SEC wins, everybody gets like a free bloomin' onion.
Really?
Yeah, and if the Big Ten wins, everybody gets like coconut shrimp or something like that.
That's funny. So like, yeah, the Outback Bowl is one of the SEC bowls. So
it's always an SEC v Big Ten bowl.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. This year I think Kentucky was on it.
The bowl games are weird, cause like the Bush's Baked Beans Bowl. What is that a thing?
I guess probably whoever drops the biggest dollar.
Yeah, but like, what?
Dude, I don't know. There's a Mayo Bowl. Come on.
It's a Duke's Mayo Bowl.
The Duke's Mayo Bowl. They don't mayo on the coach.
That was the one that Kentucky was in because I think Mark Stoops got mayoed.
That's disgusting.
Which is really gross. I don't like mayo.
A couple years ago?
Wait, I think, it might have been 2 years ago.
Because this year they were at the Music City Bowl. Against Iowa, actually. And they did terrible.
Iowa couldn't score a point this year. So
their offense wasn't very great. Hopefully.
Their defense was solid, though.
They got like Cade McNamara?
Yeah.
So,
from Michigan.
Yeah, and I think somebody else, too, so we'll see who ends up winning that.
I'm not going to diss on Iowa. I have nothing against them.
They're good. They have always kind of struggled. Oh my gosh, pulled a stitch out. That's fun.
Amanda starts openly bleeding on the podcast. No, it doesn't look like it would. That's wild. Put it back. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I have a needle. I'm like, all right. Okay. The other thing that we're supposed to ask every single football player that comes on from Cam.
Yep.
Floor neck.
Oh,
Talk to us about floor neck.
Yeah, so I literally did it yesterday, actually, and it was terrible. So you run in the weight room, like we have like a big like team, whoever's like lifting at that time, like basically break down the door and run in, get all hype and stuff.
We have to order a new door every week.
Either one of the players or the coaches goes, pop down, feet east, floor, neck. And so we all get down, and it's like, chin to chest, go. And so you're just like on your back, like knees bent, like you do like a sit-up, and you're just doing this. And then it goes ear to shoulder. And it goes shake my head no, and then it's protrusions like this. And like by the end, like here to like here in your jaw is just like throbbing because it's like, you should try it sometime. Dude, we do probably like a minute
on
each.
On the podcast?
Yeah, like this would be actually crazy.
Next thing is the floor neck demonstration.
Yeah.
All right, Chris.
But yeah. So that's floor neck. It's a good time. If you ever want a neck workout, there you go.
Floor neck.
It'll get you good for a while.
Every single person we've asked about it, which is like all of 3 or 4 at this point, they've been like, it's terrible, but the best thing ever.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's one of like the best memories and best things I will take from Vanderbilt.
That's insane. Why?
So
like a camaraderie.
Yeah, it's just like, it was like the worst thing. And like whenever we first started doing it, no one ever spoke. And like everyone was like, we hate this. Yeah, everyone was just like focused on it, like super quiet. And now like, it's like a team bonding thing whenever we're not like on the ground, like we're all like talking and like laughing and like it gets like us all pumped up. So
did
it's
that
a good
come
time.
with Coach Lee?
Yeah, it came with our like strength staff, Coach Lee. Yeah, and then like our coaches, whenever they like first started yelling, they get really mad, like not even mad, but they would get really like hyped up when they yelled all that stuff, and so now like everyone joins in and says it together, so it's pretty cool.
That's hilarious.
Do you feel like you've seen like a pretty big culture shift from with Coach Lee coming in? Obviously, no disrespect to Coach Mason by any means.
Yeah, for sure. Coach Lee, I think it kind of took a little time with Coach Lee. Like whenever a new guy comes in, you know, it always takes a little time for everyone to buy in.
Yeah.
But as of the past year, like especially this new, since we came back from after the season, and even before then, but like everyone's bought into what Coach Lee, you know, is doing with us, and we meet with him every day about like some sort of like cultural aspect within the team, and he always has a lesson for us. So it's like we kind of have like another class where he's like teaching us about leadership, culture, how to be a good man, stuff like that. So
I mean, you can even see the products of that on the field, though. Like, I mean, we beat Florida as well this year, as well as Kentucky, which is like, you know, the big stat that everybody keeps throwing on with Vanderbilt is there's never been a quarterback ever taken in the first round that has lost to Vanderbilt in their year before they got drafted.
Yeah, and 2.
And there's going to be 2 this year.
Yeah.
And Will
Levis. That's
Levis.
pretty cool.
I hate Will Levis, but and Will Levis and Anthony Richardson.
I don't think either one of them are first round picks.
That's not true. Anthony Richardson.
They're like they're very freak athletes and like physically gifted.
Yeah,
so, I mean, they're good players.
Anthony Richardson is like the best athlete to ever play the game at quarterback.
See,
and
before
dude.
like the pro day and all that, Anthony Richardson was not as like
he wasn't
big of a deal, and then he did insane things, and everyone's like, huh?
Yeah, at the combine, he ran like a 4.4.
How does that happen?
Yeah, it's interesting. His numbers are just off the charts. So like when you do that, like you're gonna turn heads no matter.
In terms of relative athletic score, he is literally one of every single quarterback ever tested.
Really?
So if I did that,
you would beat last of every single quarterback ever tested. Is that what you were asking? Because I don't believe there's a quarterback that would test.
First percentile.
Yeah, man is rocking the first.
That's nothing. If I were to produce those stats,
first percentile.
Yeah, you'd be the worst.
That'd be the worst. Yeah.
If I were to elicit those stats, like in my position as me, like.
If you were to be able to do what he did.
So if you're telling me if you could run, if you were 6'4" and could run and jump and throw the ball really far, yes, they would take you as a first-round pick.
Given that I have no football experience?
Yes.
No football experience?
Well, no.
I have never played football. I barely know football.
Okay, maybe not no football experience. You'd probably be like a third-round pick.
I don't know.
Yeah, like how much are they willing to risk? That's somebody's job.
I mean, there's a lot of money. Yeah, there's a lot of money.
I think that they'd be. I think that so let's be honest. Anthony Richardson's tape was really bad. Like looking at his tape, it's not good. Like he has a couple really great throws a game, and he runs and he doesn't get tackled because he's huge and really fast.
In any way, I don't think.
But his completion percentage was like 50% this year. Like. I don't think I could do that, but if I had his like traits in terms of how fast and hard I could throw the ball, I think I could do that. So like I think it would warrant like a mid-round pick. Just take a flyer on potentially the best athlete in the class.
I don't know where
any take here, Ethan?
No, I don't want to.
No, I'm just playing.
No,
I'm just playing.
No, but, I don't know. He's a good player. I mean, he's gonna get drafted high. He's probably gonna. Whether he plays or not, he's going to, be successful.
I wouldn't be mad if the Titans took him at number 3. If they traded up and took him at number 3. I would not be mad at all.
I don't think I would be.
I don't think they would, but I think that's interesting.
I think there's a chance.
Really?
Yeah. I think with Rand Carthen being the new GM, he wants his guy. And I think that if that takes trading up...
With Derrick Henry, and then that they're just going to, get rid of the quarterback so they have no...
I think that they would trade... Tannehill to the Jets for probably cents on the dollar.
Did the Jets need another washed-up quarterback?
Will the Jets ever be good?
I like Robert Saleh.
Maybe one day. Well, yeah, he's great.
Look, but
that's one single piece.
Okay. He's cool.
Yeah,
he's cool.
He was defensive coordinator for the 49ers for a long time. Like, I think they have a really...
He's talented.
They're trading for a quarterback this offseason. I don't know if that's going to be Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if that's going to be Tannehill, depending on what the Titans do in the draft, because there's a lot of talk we're going to try to get C.J. Stroud or Anthony Richardson.
Are you a Jets? Or are you talking about here? Okay.
And Titans, yeah. But the Jets are going to trade for somebody. And if they trade for Aaron Rodgers, they'll win the East, 100%.
Is Aaron Rodgers still at the Packers?
Yeah.
I thought he got traded.
Well, everyone was saying he was going to go to the Jets, and then it hasn't happened.
Okay.
If he gets on the Jets, like they will be a really good team. Because I mean they have studs everywhere. Actually, it's just the Jets.
They got some good skill players.
They have 2 first-round offensive linemen.
I never really watched the Jets though.
Who does?
Jets. It's just I mean there was never on my television just because it's not the area.
Are you a big NFL fan?
How many people?
I'm a big Cowboys fan. Like I try to watch them every weekend.
Yeah, that's tough.
I'm sorry,
dude. I bet on the Cowboys once.
Sold.
Zeke sold me.
Yeah.
I had a parlay that was gonna net me like $600 off of 10, and everything but Zeke's rushing yards hit. And it was like he just had to get like 55, and he had like 30 in the game.
How much did Tony have?
I don't remember. I was every time he was on the field, I was pissed though. I was like, get Zeke back on the field.
That'd have been a great win.
Yeah, no. Travis Etienne sold me one time too off of just rushing yards.
Have you ever?
How's his career going? I haven't watched him.
He's been a little injured, but so he tore his ACL after getting drafted that year, and then this was his first season he's played. He played really well actually.
Dude, him in like college was.
Dude, Travis in college was crazy. Yeah, the Jaguars are a good team, which makes me sad because I'm a big Titans fan.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was on my fantasy team.
Oh, you mean the fantasy team I drafted and managed?
Travis was?
Yes, he was. I got him in like the 5th round. It's crazy.
I realized his little brother was on Florida.
Yeah.
I was like,
Trevor?
oh, hey, Trevor. Yeah, Trevor Etienne plays running back for Florida.
Trevor and Travis. Would you ever name your kids names that similar?
They're very similar. Yeah, I don't know.
Like as people or like as players?
Just the name.
Oh.
Yeah, like
I thought you meant like like you knew them both, and I was like, I didn't realize you had ETN connections.
Yeah, I wish I did. I don't know.
Yeah, they're good
that's
players.
a weird thing to me. You know what I mean, Chris?
I mean, sure, yeah, I would know, but people like name their kids like with the same first initial, like name them like all. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
It's a very white thing to do, thinking about it, but like.
What I do enjoy is Will Smith. Will and Jada Smith, and then Willow and Jaden.
Is that how that worked?
Yes.
That's weird.
Will and Jada.
I don't like that either.
That is a little
Willow, Jaden. I think that's better than like Travis and.
Yeah, that's
I get it, but I don't like it either, to be honest with you. Anyway, what other? Do we have any other superlatives?
I think I had a pretty good one a minute ago, but I forgot.
We have to talk about the food.
Ice cream. Yep. That's
okay, so Cam was talking to us about food before he came on.
He was passionate.
And this is something he was deeply passionate about. Like this was like a good 10 minutes of that episode. And he was talking about how the wide receivers and the meals leading up to the game, they have an ice cream bar.
Yeah.
And it was like the wide receivers all wanted ice cream, and they would all like create like masterpieces of ice cream that they would all compare. And so, a couple questions. First, do you have ice cream at any point leading up to a game?
I did before the spring game.
Really?
Yeah, I did. Most times I'm so
how
full.
I got you. No, I'm just kidding.
I actually did make a really fire sundae for a spring game. I had like vanilla ice cream, and then I like drizzled perfectly like some chocolate syrup, caramel syrup, sprinkles, peanuts, strawberries.
Oof.
Fire.
Oh, beautiful.
Strawberries. You make it healthy.
Yeah, the strawberry with peanuts and ice cream is a fantastic combo.
Have you ever had pretzels and ice cream?
No.
It's really good.
I believe that. The salty with the...
Yeah.
Like, do you know what Brewster's is?
No.
So it's an ice cream place.
Is that like around here?
The thing is I've had it in like Knoxville, obviously, but I didn't think it was Knoxville only. It probably is.
You've said that about a lot of things.
Okay, in fairness, I've only lived there. So it's just like an ice cream place, and they come out with like monthly flavors, and one of them was like vanilla but with peanut butter and pretzels in it.
It's an odd name.
That's not okay. I'm sorry, I didn't remember what it was called,
really good.
But it was banger. And ever since
really
then, I've been putting pretzels and ice cream whenever I've had it. Like not like whatever, but sometimes, and it's top tier.
Yeah, I do. When I'm at home, I do like ice cream with like just a scoop of peanut butter or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
that's elite.
That
I
sounds
love peanut butter.
Peanut butter is top tier food.
Kill peanut butter.
Okay, but so you've had ice cream. Is that going to lead up to like being like one of your pregame meals for this year?
No.
It's not gonna make the cut.
I did it just because usually I'm like so full because like they have like this little pasta bar that you can like make your specialty pasta, or you can eat from like it's insane. Or you can eat just from like the regular like line of food, which I sometimes do. But like if I'm feeling it, I'll just go to the pasta bar and like make myself some pasta, Yeah. So.
Do you eat the same thing every time before games?
Not exactly, but like similar. Like I'll keep it very similar. Like the night before, I always get like a kale mango like smoothie king smoothie that we have there.
Kale mango, interesting.
Yeah. For breakfast, I'll like always have like an omelet and I don't know, maybe some
What's in your
toast. Typically like chicken, spinach, peppers and onions.
Dude, spinach and eggs is so underrated.
I had some this morning actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I was at Kasam, so they don't have spinach there. But
it was pretty good. No, like the hotel food here at least is like elite.
Really?
So yeah, I love it. It's like the pasta's really good. Like so, I didn't even finish the pasta thing. So you get the pasta, but you don't add that in first. You put in I put like mushrooms, peppers, chicken, or like shrimp or something, and then they put the pasta in, and then you get like a little bit of the red sauce and then the Alfredo.
See, I've never been a big
mix up and put some mozzarella cheese, and it's like insane. So
that sounds good. Everything but
the shape of pasta.
I like angel hair.
Yep.
Or fettuccine, or I don't know what else is there.
There's a lot. Willem's Italian. Dude, this is the exact opposite of Bella. She pulled out some pasta I'd never heard of.
I hadn't heard of it. I was embarrassed.
Like, what's the shape of it?
I can't even describe it to you.
It looks like.
I like shells. Those are fun.
Those are good. This is like a weird shell. It was like a canoe shape.
The big ones, the big canoes.
No, but like it was spiral on the outside of it.
Yeah, it was like almost spiky. It was weird.
Oh wow.
It was the most confusing thing. I was like, how do you make those? And they're like, you boil them? And I'm like, no. How do you form them?
Yeah, I've never seen that one.
I'm sitting here
and I'm
like,
insane.
I didn't realize she was
That's a good answer.
Yeah.
I ask that every time I go to the games. I'll sit behind the opponent's bench and I'll yell at them. But I won't like say probably typical things that you've heard, like you suck, something like that. I'm like, 57, what's your favorite shape of pasta? And like, I know they'll hear me because they'll be like,
do they respond ever?
And they'll turn their head and they'll try not to.
Yeah.
But I'm persistent.
Yeah.
So I yell. So by the third quarter, they're like, huh? And I'm like, what's your favorite shape of pasta? I've gotten some responses.
Yeah.
You got the quarterback for
Wake Forest.
Wake Forest.
He was the first
Sam
one to respond. Sam
Yeah.
Hartman. I think he said fettuccine Alfredo.
Which is not a
shape. It's a dish.
Alfredo is the fettuccine.
Yeah, fettuccine
is the shape.
But he gave a dish.
Fettuccine Alfredo is the dish.
That is.
I mean, it makes sense. So fettuccine, we'll say. The kicker for Tennessee said the same thing.
It was the backup kicker, wasn't it?
No, it was.
It was Chase McGrath?
Yeah, McGrath said the same thing. Fettuccine Alfredo. Another guy said the long ones. And I'm like, care to clarify?
Spaghetti?
And he's like, long. And I'm like, I mean, okay, man, whatever you say. That was a lineman at Tennessee.
Okay.
A couple other guys responded.
That.
I asked them for their towels a lot because it rains weirdly often every time I go.
Dude, every game is raining.
So I'm like, bro. And I like, my frat and I take off our shirts and like paint up.
Oh, that's you?
Game. That's me.
Oh, that's fire, dude.
That's
I
me.
love that.
And I've been to a lot of them. One game, Tennessee game, it was just me and one dude. It was raining and cold. And Chase McGrath is right there with his towel. And I'm like, Chase, please, I'm so moist. Throw me your towel. Yeah. And he's like, no. Dang it, dude, come on. You like turn and respond to me but won't do it?
Yeah,
and then people walk by and I'm like, can I get that towel? And they're like, no. And I'm like, dang, dude, okay.
You ever got one?
No.
Oh, wow.
I ask every game. They don't ask for their gloves sometimes. I'm like, let me get that glove, dude. And then he's like, why do you want Tennessee gloves? And I'm like, for fun?
Yeah.
And he's like, no. He had to think about it.
Yeah.
I almost got him.
You couldn't have hit him with like my roommate's a Tennessee fan.
I couldn't let him know that.
He would have given you the gloves.
I was sitting around people. I have a reputation to uphold.
They know. They're mad at me for it as well.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, no, it's I yell at center fielders.
Oh, that's my favorite thing in the
It's
world.
fun, actually.
I'll also
It's my
yell
favorite
at
thing to do.
Enrique, not like in a heckling way, but in a come on my podcast kind of way.
He said yes.
He did?
He won't lock
we
them.
made him a shirt, And then he hasn't DM'd us about when he can come on. He'll be like, yeah, I'll see if I got time. And then it'll be like months.
$65 for a glove. So
yeah, one time.
For a glove,
Willem, he's never played baseball. And so Enrique was like, selling my glove from last year. I'm going to sign it and everything. And
like he used it during the season.
Yeah, and Willem was like, dude, I'm going to offer. And I'm like, I had just gotten to the lake because I was doing some work. And so I don't have any service down there. And I get back on and Willem's like, I offered him $60. And I'm like, $60 won't get you, that won't get you like a used glove from like a T-baller. Like, I was like, oh gosh.
You said something along the lines of, there's absolutely no way it'll be less than $70. And
well, because you had said I'm going to offer 60.
No. So I misinterpreted it. It also came in later than I thought it would because it was the weird Wi-Fi. And I thought, there's no way it's over $70. So I'm like,
it's also like,
dude, good deal.
You know how much they cost?
They're like hundreds of dollars. Yeah,
he said he bought it for $350, and he said he was thinking of her selling it at least that. And then he's gonna sign it, so that'll add more value. It's still in good condition. So
I was sitting here. I'm like, this is gonna be a few. I was like, this is gonna be like a few hundred.
They get a new glove like every year too.
Yeah,
his glove right now is fire.
It wasn't on his personal account.
It's a blue.
No, it was on the Show Em The Dore account.
So he could have thought it was you.
Yeah, which is even worse in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
Well,
he runs the Instagram. Everybody knows it though.
But we do.
Do you run it?
Yeah.
So who am I messaging like?
Me, technically, because Willem posts everything, and then I DM most people.
I reach out to people. I reached out to you in the very beginning. We talked a little, and then he is more like logistical. Like, come at this time. I'll meet you out there.
So y'all both have the account on your phone.
If there are capital letters, it's Chris. If there aren't, it's me.
Oh, okay.
Which you don't need to remember that, obviously.
But it's a fun fact for the
come back again.
Well, yeah, no, we love to be back on. We'll obviously DM you about that and stuff.
If you want,
but like, if you're not gonna look at it and be like, oh, there's a capital H here, it's Chris. You know,
like, it's a little fun.
I'll decipher the text.
Yeah, exactly. But so like I'll yell at Enrique and I'll be like, your anchor collective is too expensive. I don't have $1,000 for you to show up somewhere. Please come on my podcast.
Is there ways to see that from your perspective?
Yeah, because we are the ones that theoretically buy it.
Well, you can just go to the website.
Yeah,
the Anchor Collective website?
Yeah.
And you can like get some
it's almost a little weird. Like you can go and like look up like the athletes that are in it. Like, do you have an Anchor Collective?
No.
Okay, but theoretically I could look you up and you could set your prices for like autographs and like shout outs on Instagram and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and Enrique's like showing up somewhere is $1,000.
Also, where's he showing up? Like a birthday party?
My man does have Gatorade, Dick's Sporting Goods, like
he does.
Yeah, like all these sponsorships. Like man is very well sponsored.
I mean, he's like the Heisman of baseball.
Yeah, I mean, he quite literally is the best college player.
Wait, so he got the Golden Glove, right?
Yeah.
That's like the best award in baseball.
It's anybody who has a fielding percentage of like a perfect fielding percentage.
Oh, okay.
So what you're thinking of is the Golden Spikes Award.
Oh.
He's been a finalist. He hasn't won it, but that's not going to stop him from being a top 5 pick in this year's draft.
Yeah. Is he eligible?
Yes.
This is his last year that he will be at Vandy.
After this season?
Yeah.
He's done.
So you're eligible after your junior year. Okay, yeah. Football, you have to be there 3. Baseball, 3. Basketball, anytime.
Baseball, you have to be 21. There are draft eligible sophomores.
So it's either out of high school.
Okay. If you go to college, you have to be there until you're 21.
Okay.
And then basketball, it's
so if you're young, you have to wait until
junior year. Yeah.
I'm not going to be 21.
So I'm still 20. So I would have to wait till next season.
If you play baseball, yeah.
Because my birthday's not until July 31st.
And I think that would put you in the cutoff for junior year. You would go. It's like if you're not 21 before the start of the season or something like that. I don't know the exact rule, but it's like everybody can get selected as a junior, and then some people can get selected as a sophomore.
Okay.
They're considered draft eligible.
So
I think Carter Holton is a draft eligible sophomore.
Really?
No, Duck Canch is a draft eligible sophomore.
Who?
Isn't he a freshman?
Yes. So next year he can get drafted after next year. We have this new pitcher coming in. His name's Andrew it's not Duck-Canch. That's how I say it because I don't know how to say it. It's like Duck-Canich or something like that. And he was a top 50 prospect who didn't go to the draft, and he came to Vandy instead. He's going to be really, really good.
Cool.
And so next year our rotation is going to be Holton, Duck-Canch, and Futrell. And they're all going to leave after next year, but it's not going to matter because that we're going to be so dominant pitching next year. It's going to be crazy.
That's awesome. We have a good team this year.
We have a really good team. We got killed by Indiana State last night, but that's okay.
Did y'all go to the game?
I did not, but I watched the entire game.
Okay.
It was just we were playing a bunch of freshmen, and pitching got away from them.
Okay.
And then we couldn't hit yesterday for some reason, but it's fine because we beat South Carolina, and we're gonna sweep Tennessee tonight.
What position did you play in baseball?
Never played.
He said he played swim. He
played soccer and basketball.
You say you swam at all?
I did swim. When I was elementary school, I swam.
What position did you play in baseball?
Basketball. I was like a post.
There you go.
I was like a post. Yeah.
There you go. Boardman
gets paid for real.
Like a big body. I could play down low with the big guys, and then. Yeah, I can dunk now. In high school, I couldn't dunk. I never really dunked in high school, but yeah, I can dunk now. So it's pretty cool.
Dude, nice.
Yeah, and I was never like a shooting guard or anything because I was always playing football, so I never practiced shooting, and I was never able to consistently be good. So I just kind of stick with layups.
Going back to the NIL thing, if you had an anchor collective, what would you set I'm going to show up somewhere and do something at?
Oh, gosh. I don't even have any idea of what that would even
The thing is, I've only ever looked at Enrique, so I don't have a good understanding of what the market value is.
I don't even know what the other guys on my team are, so I don't know.
That'd be such a funny thing if we get you guessed what they were and we had them up.
I would say...
Who do you know has NIL collective stuff?
Oh, yeah, I know, there's probably 10 guys, 10, 15 guys the whole team have it.
Dude, that'd be so funny. We'll do that. Maybe if you come back on, we'll have a segment where we'll have it up already, so we don't have to do research and then cut it from the podcast.
We can do that. Yeah.
But dude, it's so good. Are you going to be available next semester? Because next week will be our finale.
In fall?
Yeah.
Probably eventually. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot busier. It's harder to. But yeah, I'll. Yeah,
worst comes to worst.
My people, Chris, we'll be in touch with your people.
It's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. I can't wait. The bye week could probably be the best time. Just because the season's hectic. So
we've been trying to get Will Shepherd on for months.
Will's a quieter fella. So.
He said he's gonna come on. He's been one of the most contacted people. He's DM'd us a bunch, and he's like, I have to look at my schedule, and then
we had time set. We had to cancel it twice.
Oh yeah.
Really?
He had to cancel it twice.
He's a good dude though, and he's
a good dude.
And he's really good. He should have been first team All-SEC, but that's not.
Yeah, no, he balled out last season, so I'm excited to see
what
he's going to do. I mean, this spring, every time the ball was thrown his direction, he caught it. I'm like, okay, Will, you're actually going crazy right now.
No, I tweeted from the Show Em The Dore account where it was when they released the All-SEC teams, and I'm like, how Will Shepherd is not on the first team All-SEC team is a travesty, and I was writing scathing reviews of them, and he retweeted it, and I was like, this is great. I was like, this is wonderful.
I wonder, I might have low-key seen that. I saw something like that on Twitter.
Dude, I was mad. I'm very passionate about Vanderbilt sports.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And my man deserves it. We get disrespect too. We being the media member who is on a podcast.
Christian,
but the Vanderbilt teams get disrespected far too much. There's just the stigma about Vanderbilt not being good at sports, but that's just not true. As we can see from every team that we've had this year.
And I mean, but we're having a good year this year.
Yeah,
we had a good spring, and we got a lot of guys back, a lot of experience. So I'm excited.
A bowl game year.
The thing is last year, I mean, we beat 2 SEC teams. I don't know how you're going to sit here and be they're the worst team ever, because that's just not the case in any way. And then if we're thinking holistically about Vanderbilt sports, I mean, basketball had a great NIT run. Should have been in the tournament, but that's a different conversation. And then, baseball is a powerhouse. We just won the championship in bowling.
Yeah. Hey, bro. That's legit.
Yeah, that's an NCAA championship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. It's not even worth talking about, given airtime to the people that are so disrespectful. But
yeah,
it's frustrating. I'm sure that I don't know.
Sports.
Do you guys ever hear that kind of stuff, or do you guys just tune out really the media as it?
You do. I think it's just natural. Media's there all the time, so you do. But no one knows what's going on really. So only we know what's happening in the football program. And I believe in other Vanderbilt sports. I like watching everybody else play, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think there's a good community and support system from sport to sport that's kind of developed since I've been here. So
yeah,
it's pretty cool.
I think Candace Lee is a big part of that probably.
For sure, yeah. Candace is awesome.
Yeah.
One time, I've only had one interaction with Candace Lee, and it was we were in the front row at the Vanderbilt Alabama basketball game, and she came up and she was like, "Guys, you really can't talk about what happened with Darius Miles." Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And people did not
listen to her at
listen
all?
to her.
Yeah, I believe that.
Which is obviously terrible.
Yeah, that's a tough deal there.
Yeah. Anyway, I know that we've taken up a lot of your time. We want to give you this shirt for coming on the podcast.
Yeah, that's awesome.
The Show Em The Dore, and then a bar on the back. So that's for you.
This is sick.
As well as being a Show Em The Dore alumnus at this point, we want you to sign the back of the jersey here.
Let's go.
To, officially be a part of it.
We need to get you a football jersey.
Dude, get me a football jersey. We'll put it on here.
That'd be cool.
You'll talk to your people about it?
Pull strings.
I'll see what I can do. Maybe.
Dude, can we do a jersey swap after a game one time? I'll just give you my shirt.
Yeah.
Final question. Do you think if Chris joined the
program,
walked
on,
could they whip him up into SEC shape in 4 years?
4 years?
SEC shape being he won't die on the field and he might do okay.
4 years?
4 years.
4 years, yeah. You can do it.
Well, how many years does it take, you think?
Some guys it takes 4 years.
Well, some guys are ranked recruits. And then there's Chris.
Wait, hold on. Willem, we gotta get
this. Is that on there?
Yeah, try to trace it a little bit so we can get a thumbnail here where it's all right, I got the thumbnail. Yeah, you get the clickbait, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's oh my god. Yeah, dude, it's. I don't know why the marker does not show up well on this material.
You need a silver one almost.
We have a silver one. We'll get the silver one. See if it looks better. You might be changing the game here.
Yeah, this could be huge.
Could be enormous. We got bronze, silver, and gold because it came in a pack. Oh, that looks so much better. Willem, what have we been doing?
Oh my goodness.
Let's go.
We'll have Bella when she comes on next. Oh, speaking of, hey guys, next week for our finale, we're having Bella back on because
she wanted to come back.
Yeah, she did.
Look at that.
And so, it also it was a little bit of a mess of an episode last week because of the whole battery situation, and so we didn't get the.
Was this last week she was on?
No, 2 weeks ago. I'm sorry.
Wow, look at that.
That's
I'm
so
so
much
glad
better.
I'm gonna be the
boom. Really reshaping the face of the program with the silver.
Good grief, dude! This is the biggest thing that's ever happened to us.
All right, well, your thing is going to be tracing everybody's now. But anyway, thank you so much for coming on.
I appreciate it. It was a good time.
And we'll be in contact if you want to come back on at any point. You're of course welcome.
Cool.
But do you have anything that you want to say before we end this episode here?
No, anyone who's watching, just stay tuned for Vanderbilt Sports. It's an exciting time at Vandy.
Subscribe to
The Door. Yeah, subscribe to these guys. It was a good time and entertaining, I'm sure. So, yeah, thanks for watching.
Awesome. And so, with that being said, we'll see you guys next week with Bella LaChance back on, and hopefully we can supplement some of the mess that we had a few weeks ago. So this has been Show Em The Dore, all the way from the Curb Center Studios here in Nashville, and we will see you guys next week.